You can smoke it, you can eat it, but you cannot sell it. And it seems the Cannabis for Private Use Bill is not going to change that. You'll remember the Constitutional Court paved the way for this bill when it directed that cannabis for personal possession and use should be decriminalised. But public submissions on the bill this week have raised concerns that it doesn't go far enough in allowing for the drug to be sold legally. And I'm joined now by Tony Ehrenreich, Deputy Parliamentary Officer for Cosatu. That's, of course, the Congress of South African Trade Unions. Thank you so much for joining us. So, Cosatu made their public submission today. In a nutshell, could you give us your organisation's position on this bill?
Well, we think it's important that we both deal with the aspects of decriminalisation. But as we've now observed governments move towards adopting a master plan for the industry, it's absolutely essential that we deal with all of the elements. So this deals with the job opportunities, hemp and its ability to be a key input into production, questions of recreational use, and then the health issues. So we've got to ensure that we're able to produce, process, and sell the cannabis and hemp into the industries to make sure we're able to better regulate it, but also create job opportunities and an important economic sector for the South African economy. So we want jobs out of it. We want to make sure we decriminalize it, and we want to make sure that we're able to look at the overall impact that this can bring to the economy around the uniqueness of South Africa's offering.
So are you saying that this bill is not in step with the hemp master plan and might be missing really important opportunities commercially?
Absolutely. The hemp master plan talks about what are the different job opportunities, industrial opportunities, economic opportunities in cannabis and in hemp. So we've got to take those opportunities, bring together the participants in that industry, develop the details of the cannabis master plan, and then government must give effect to the laws that are able to let those measures that have been agreed to roll out. Because the constraint at the moment is the fact that historically it was criminalized. So we've got to deal with that. But decriminalization is not the only part of it. In fact, that is probably the smallest part of it. The question is about the health opportunities it presents and the job opportunities and the impact for the fiscus. So we've got to ensure that we have a comprehensive approach as a country to dealing with this bill.
Is it a case of these bills have to go one at a time, that the first step is this personal use one, and then there will probably be another bill that will be on a more commercial level? Are you saying that that's not the right way, that you rather want it all to happen with this one bill?
Well, government's key program is making sure that we have master plans that ensures that industry, labor, and government and civil society comes together and co-creates what we do. If we're not able to do that, if we allow what government's doing at the moment, and they've given some licenses to some international producers who are both processing it here and exporting it, but that already is part of the problem. For decades, you had poor women feeding their households in the Eastern Cape and in Natal from the money that they've generated through what was then the illegal sale of cannabis. Surely they should have the first opportunity to get into the legal industry and make some money to feed their families out of that. With the way the bill is now unfolding, it's going to give big industrials and major corporations globally the opportunity to come in, exploit our resources, effectively close off the markets for the historical activists that's operated in the market, and deny both the economic opportunities and the job opportunities that goes with it. So as Cosatu, we certainly believe that we've got to deal with the question of criminalization, but more importantly, we can't have a lot of the fat cats coming in and skimming off the wealth in this industry, while the poorer people who potentially can benefit the most and who can have the best impact on raising their standards of living, they largely excluded. So that's got to be an element of the bill that's attended to and attended to urgently.
Do you think this bill can just simply be tweaked, or do you think they need to go back to the drawing board and put together a much more comprehensive approach in line with the hemp master plan?
This bill at the moment is really government's response to deal with what the instructions were from the Constitutional Court to deal with the aspects of criminalization. So sure, that must be done. But when the master plan came on the table, before the bill was presented into Parliament, it clearly changed the game. And so Parliament must come in step with what we're doing around industrial and economic development strategies for the country. We need every opportunity where we can create jobs, where we can generate more income into the fiscus so that we can deal with the many challenges that our people have. So there's got to be careful sequencing of the bill to make sure we first have a plan and then change the laws. And so we're calling on government to come in step with that to make sure that we deal in a comprehensive way with responding to the needs of this important sector and, more importantly, its potential impact on the rural communities where often it had been the only source of income for women-headed households.
Well, thank you so much for your time this evening. Much appreciated. That was Tony Ehrenreich, Deputy Parliamentary Officer for the Congress of South African Trade Unions. They made their public submission today on the cannabis bill for private use, and they're saying that it needs to be a lot more comprehensive than it currently is.